welcome to Stacking the Shelves for the books I got in like the last month. I just counted these, but I forgot how many. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 17 books to go through. The bulk of these are review books again. I did get quite a few books for review, so I'll start with those. The first book I got for review is The Boy Who Cried Bear, which is the second book in the Havens Rock series by Kelly Armstrong. This is kind of a mystery survival thriller series that's a spin-off series from the Rockton series, and it's about a couple who is making a sanctuary for people who need like witness protection up in the Yukon wilderness. You've probably heard me talk about the Rockton series and the Havens Rock series way too much at this point, but I'm very excited to get the second book in that series for review. The next one I got for review is System Collapse, and this is the 7th book in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. A lot of people have. It is a science fiction series about an AI robot, basically, who is like kind of a security robot of sorts, who is left to do his own thing, and about kind of what it means when artificial intelligence is human and has to make decisions about its own life. I'm very much looking forward to this. All of these have been very good. The next one I got is one that it's an author I have not read before, and that is A Tempest of Tea, Book 1 in the Blood and Tea duology by Hafsa Fazal, and I think this author also wrote We Hunt the Flame, which I have not read yet. This publishes, I should mention The Boy Who Cried Bear comes out in February. System Collapse comes out in November, so pretty soon. And then A Tempest of Tea comes out in February as well. And this is about a orphan named Arthi who has a tea house that in the day it's tea house, at night it's turned into an illegal blood house for vampires. Her and her crew end up getting tangled up in some sort of heist involving the vampires. It sounded very fun. It's being compared to Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, kind of that heist, fantasy heist type of vibe to it, I guess. So excited to read that. I also got The Crown of Salt and Bone, which is the 3rd book in the Azantine trilogy, which this actually came out September 26th. I'm reading this right now and I'm not really enjoying it. And I just don't remember any of the side characters. I don't know if they just weren't that memorable or if the book's not doing a very good job recapping or what the deal is. But that is the 3rd and final book in the series, so I'm going to try to get through it. I'm about 20% of the way through it, and I'm just not liking it right now. But this is kind of a fantasy, a magical fantasy, where the main character finds out, like, inherits godly powers, and she's trying to, like, journey into the underworld to find her husband, lover. I can't even remember if they're married. Anyways, yeah, so not a glowing commentary on that one, but I'm reading it right now. We'll see how it goes. The next one I got is another author that's new to me, and that is River Muma by Zalika Reed Binta. This publishes in February as well. And this one is about a woman named Alicia who's recently come out of graduate school. She just doesn't have any prospects. She doesn't know what she's doing. I think the description of the book says she's having a mid-quarter life crisis, and she's approached by a Jamaican river goddess who wants Alicia to find her comb, like her hair comb, for her, and it leads Alicia on this kind of quest, and she's wondering why the goddess is asking her to do this and all of that. It's supposed to be, have some, of course, fantasy aspects to it, but also be kind of a commentary just on current society and life and culture and ancestry and all that stuff. So it sounded kind of interesting, and I don't know much about like Jamaican gods and goddesses and mythology, so I thought it would be fun to read. All right, the next one I got to review is from a series I've loved for a long time, and that is Aftermarket Afterlife, which is the 13th book in the Encrypted series by Shauna McGuire. This one follows Mary Dunvally, who is the ghost babysitter for the Prices and the McKeeleys, and so yeah, it should be interesting. We're switching viewpoint, so we're not from Alice Price's point of view now, we're to Mary Dunvally, so I'm very curious to learn her story. Yeah, very much looking forward to that. Hopefully it is a good read. I've been a little bit disappointed in the most October Day books, so I'm hoping that I enjoy this latest Encrypted book better. And that comes out March 5th, so quite a bit of time till that one is going to be released. The next book I got for review is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden, and this also comes out in February. Catherine Arden wrote the Nightingale trilogy, I think. It's kind of a winter fantasy, very fairy tale-esque series that I really, really liked. This one sounds like it's a standalone book, and it takes place in 1918, and there's a woman named Laura who is a former war nurse who finds out that her brother has died, and she ends up journeying back to Belgium to kind of figure out what happened to him. And when she gets there, she hears all these rumors about like ghosts in the war trenches and people taking magical potions and stuff like that. And she's trying to figure out like if something mundane happened to her brother or if there's like darker fantastical forces at play. It's been getting very good reviews from people who have read it, so I'm very eager to read it because I really have liked Catherine Arden's other books, so that should be an interesting one. All right, then I did buy 4 books. The first 2 of these I actually kind of quote-unquote bought. I got them through Amazon First Reads, which if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can choose from a couple pre-release books every month. The first one I got through First Reads is The Village Healer's Book of Cures by Jennifer Sherman Roberts. This is set in 7th century England, and it's about a healer woman who is like a little bit too good of a healer who gets accused of witchcraft, but there's actually a mystery of some other kind of rituals and weird stuff going on that she's getting blamed for that she's not doing. So a little bit more of that witch hunter thing, which I read another book about witch hunters. It seems to be a theme. I don't know. It's kind of weird how some of these things come in groups. So this will be the second book I've gotten in the last couple months about witch hunters and set in kind of that time period. So it's interesting. The second book I got through Amazon First Reads was The Lover by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and this is a short story, and it's about 2 sisters. It sounds like one sister is the beautiful popular sister who gets married to this man. The other sister is not, but she ends up starting a relationship with the one man and then another mysterious man like in the woods. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. It's a short story, and I've been enjoying like shorter reads because I've been so busy, so I'd pick it up and give it a shot. And then the last 2 I bought, and the first one of those is Witch Hat 8 Layer 11 by Kamomi Shirahama, and I probably said that wrong, but I have been really enjoying the series. This is a fantasy series that would be appropriate for teen and up. Very like beautiful drawing. It's about this young woman who's learning to be a witch, and hope she has kind of a mysterious past, and she's being approached by these other mysterious witches. And the last couple books in this have felt like a bit transitional. They're just not as exciting, but hopefully the story will pick up again. So there's that. And then the second book I got is one in the series that I mentioned in my last video of my favorite books I read in September, and that's book 2 of the Night Eaters series, Her Little Reapers. This is quite a hefty graphic novel. Always really enjoy the art style here. Again, this is by Marjorie Liu and Santa Takata. This is a modern day kind of paranormal thing with demons and demon hunters and all that, about a brother and sister who find out that their mom and dad are not exactly what they thought they were. So looking forward to reading this. All right, and then I did get 4 audiobooks. A lot of these were shorter because I'm not commuting as much, but I am commuting, so I'm listening to audiobooks. The first one that I got is Assembly by Natasha Brown. This is a fairly short audiobook set in contemporary times, and it's about a very successful Black woman who lives in London, who is involved, has a longtime boyfriend who's from a very wealthy like English country family, and it's just kind of talking about her thoughts. It's done in like a very prose, poetic type of way. Her thoughts of getting ready to go to this garden party where she's going to meet his whole family, and you know, it just about the racism, both subtle and non-subtle, that she faces, and about some of the implications just from being a woman, and about how she feels about like always trying to strive to like do better, make more money, get into a higher position, and how wearing that is, and how she's questioning like, should she keep doing this? Why is she doing this? All of that. And it was a kind of an interesting commentary. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking, but it was just kind of this prose like flow of thought from this woman and the issue she's facing, both as an African American and as a woman. So I fear it's very short, but it was, if you're into that kind of thing, it was well done. The second audiobook I got was A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. I Harrow wrote like 1,000 Doors of January or The Door of January or something like that. Anyways, these are short. They're part of her Fractured Fables series, so they're short fairy tale retelling type of things. And this first one was a kind of retelling extension of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale, and it's about a girl who has a chronic disease and she's going to die in her 20s. She ends up magically transported to another world where she runs into a cursed princess, basically a Sleeping Beauty, and is trying to help that person escape her curse. So, yeah, you know, seems it was well done. I'll probably listen to the second one. It's set up so like all these fairy tale worlds are like parallel worlds. So there's a little bit of this parallel reality thing going on, and I enjoyed it well enough. Third audiobook I listened to was one called Freshwater by I'm not even gonna say this right, Awaki Imizi. It's about a woman who is born with two gods in her soul, and it makes her kind of crazy. When she's kind of violently assaulted, one of the gods becomes her prominent personality and is a very reckless, I would say just very, very reckless, sexual, promiscuous, aggressive god that kind of causes a lot of trouble for her in her life. And you end up not hearing from the woman so much as from this god that's like taken over her soul. This one was okay. It was a little out there for me. You couldn't really figure out like if the woman just has multiple personality disorder or if this is actually a fantasy and she does have like multiple gods residing in her soul. It isn't until towards the end of the story that the woman herself starts like coming out more and talking and trying to retake over her life from these two gods that are like vying for her souls. I don't know. It was weird. If you like a lot of stuff about like gender bending and you don't mind a lot of sexual scenes and sexual violence and just promiscuity and swearing, and I don't know, it was kind of intriguing the way she had all these people in her body, and it was making her very fluid as far as gender identity, but the rest of it was a little out there for me, and it was a little just more violent and vulgar than I normally like to read, but it was something. So mini review for that one as well. And then the next one, or the last audiobook I got, was Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. This is a pretty famous like historical romance. It takes place when when slavery is still legal in the South but illegal in the North of the United States. And it's about a woman who's helping to run the Underground Railroad, and one of the guys she helps, she ends up falling in love with, and he ends up being something kind of different than she initially thinks. This has been very well done. I really enjoy a lot of the historical aspects, like a lot of stuff I just didn't know about that time in the United States. But I do kind of think, it's a romance. It is a lot of romance. Like some of the love scenes and the descriptions are a little over the top for me, but it is very well done. So if you're into romances or historical romances, this is a good one. It's really neat to get this look into the United States at the time. Then I did borrow 2 books from the library. Actually, one was Kindle Unlimited. So the one I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited, I borrowed because one of the Kindle challenges is to read a book by a Hispanic author that's available through Kindle Unlimited. Pretty specific, I know. So I grabbed a short story called The Tiger Came to the Mountains. Again, this is by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And I like this. This is pretty good. It's about a family that lives up in the mountains in Mexico during when there's a lot of revolution going on. Mostly they just kind of keep to themselves, but one day a circus train has a wreck there, and a tiger is released, and they end up, anytime the revolutionaries come to rob their farm and stuff, they go up to this cave in the mountain and they have a confrontation with the tiger there. it was kind of an interesting look into that time. It was very quick, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was well written. And then the one I borrowed from the library is He Who Drowned the World, which is the second and final book in the Radiant Emperor duology by Shelley Parker Chin. I really, really liked She Who Became the Sun, and I didn't like this one quite as much. I thought it was good and it's well put together, and but I had two big issues with it. One is she spends a lot of time with the characters like having dialogue in their own heads, and it's very like, I don't know, it gets kind of old. Like they are kind of rehashing the same things over and over. So like you can actually skim like pages of this book because it's just a character like rehashing the same thoughts over in his head. So I wish that had been edited a little bit tighter. And then my second issue with it is she never does a commentary on like how much of this is real historical as far as like historians know, and how much is fantasy. I mean, obviously they can like see ghosts and stuff, and that is fantasy. But as far as how these three powers are vying for the throne and all of that in Chinese and historical, and you know, supposedly this is the character that started the Ming Dynasty and all of this, it would be nice to have a commentary on like, here's the actual history and here's what I changed, or I tried to stay true to the history as it's known, or whatever. But that didn't really have that. Anyways, so that was kind of long, but those are the 17 books I got this last month to read. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I did kind of a personal life update in the last video, so in the best books of September. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweater. It is definitely getting colder here. It's been a weird week. We were 90 in the mid to upper 90s on Monday of this week, and now at the end of the week we're going to have highs in the upper 40s and lows in the 30s. So like a 50-degree change in weather over the last 4 days, and pretty abrupt too. So yeah, finally getting to break out the sweaters and stuff like that, because it's been kind of chilly the last couple of days. So I hope you guys got a lot of great books and that you have a great month of reading ahead of you, and I will talk to you next month for best books of October and in our Stacking the Shelves. Yeah, have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.